Nau mai, haere mai e te whānau. Welcome to the Wednesday Wisdom Circle. Welcome to the Galactic Grandmothers of Mu, the Mu Movement. And I'm your host, Nanny T, Te Rau Kura Turuki, beaming to you from the Kopu Temple in Thames Coromandel, Aotearoa. And we also have Granny Anhara beaming to you from the Blue Diamond Lake and Lake Taupo, Taupo Nui Aotea. And on behalf of all of the Galactic Grandmothers, we'd love to welcome you here. Thank you for your Māori. It is the greatest gift. So thank you for showing up for yourselves. And yeah, please be sure to engage, and we'd love to see your comments. And if you have any questions, put them in the chat. But we would also love to see your likes. So if you really like what you hear, those love hearts go a long way. Just to give us that encouragement, nothing like a good bit of Modi there to help boost the energy. And is that you, Kate? No, that's not Kate. Sorry, I'm not too sure who that person is, but yeah, Katie Pie, welcome everybody. And so tonight we have a very special guest, Maggie Vrinda Ross, and she's one of the Galactic Grandmothers who'd like to share her work with us. This wahine is originally from Aotearoa, Land of First Light, and now she's been living over in Australia for many years and has been working with crystals and many, many other things and working with the 12-strand DNA, Christ consciousness, and so much more. So we'd love to hear from her expanded experience of what's happening, the gifts she's holding, and all of the things that are really going to help to bring into the space what's so necessary to help raise this mothership. So, yes, so we're looking forward to hearing from you very shortly, sister. And we'll share a little bit about the rainbow prophecies as well, the 3 rainbow prophecies that we have here in First Light, and also about what's rising for us right now. So, just doing a little welcome ceremony, just bringing in a karakia so we can all receive the blessings of this moment. Te kotahitanga o te mu e te wairua tapu. Haere mai kakahitia mātou I tō aroha. Whakakotahitia. Nā iwi kātou, I raro I te rangi kotahi, ka hoki te oranga, ka tau te rongo, ko te hā o te mu e manawatia, tuture whakamawa ki a tīna, haumi e, hui e, tai ki e. O sacred spirit, come cloak us in your love, unite all tribes as one, beneath the one sky. Let healing return, let peace settle, let the sacred breath of Mu be embraced. It is fixed, it is bound, as we join together as one. So just gonna invite everybody to go on mute, and thank you for those of you who are just showing up. Kia ora, Esther and Jenny, welcome. Welcome, so great to see you, honey. Yes, and Auntie Maureen's just coming in now. So yeah, very beautiful. Just doing a quick check-in with the grandmothers before we have our beautiful sister Maggie come and share. So Anhara, welcome, sister. What's rising in you right now? Love to hear from you.
Wow, I'm feeling like an acceleration of telepathy, heightened visions, and just increasing. And basically, what it's about is our multidimensional self is opening. And so
Mm.
this is really going to come online. I mean, some people are teleporting. We're having ancient remembrances come through, and this will increase. This is the time for it, right? So sometimes it's like your mind, conscious mind wants to decipher it, but it's not something you can decipher. You need to just sit with it had some beautiful written light language come through during the week. I did write a post about it, and I just channeled it through within minutes. And when I just look at it and the frequency and the energy of it, it really speaks into my being. And it is our own medicine basically. So that's it for me. Except I just wanted to honour the beautiful Celia Fenn that passed away during the week. Um, she was actually one of my teachers. I've followed her since the early 2000s. She brought through the Lions Gate, the 8-8. She brought through the Royal Lions from Sirius. She brought the Mary Magdalene and Yeshua Rose lines through. What else did she do? So much. Oh, channeling Archangel Michael, an amazing being. But they're passing through the veil right now, transitioning, but they seem to be more potent on the other side. And
Mm,
I really believe this, that their teachings are embodied within us, and we carry them with us, and we weave them within the teachings of what we hold within us as well. So that nothing's ever lost. So you're just honouring her right now, the beautiful Celia Fenn.
mm.
Mm. So putting down the rako for a minute. Yeah.
Kia ora, sister, and welcome to Maureen and Natalie. So great to have you both with us. Fantastic.
Mm.
And what's rising for me? Well, yeah, coming out of the separation consciousness has been really big in my field, and just seeing it play out in so many different ways, even like sneaky little ways where people will name something that you're seeing a complete different version of, and they're seeing the split separation part of it. And I'm like, actually, that's not my reality experience of this moment. So we're literally seeing the and witnessing that splitting of consciousness. So there's those that are still in that full separation, and even though they carry spiritual banners and are perceived to be doing the work, and then there's those that are quite staunch in the way and actually calling it out too, because essentially separation is separation. You can dress it up however you want, but at the end of the day, it still is what it is. And you can't paint it and dress it up and pretend it's not there when it clearly is evident that it is. So, yeah, I've had my mind completely blown this week with just so many different things coming through that are needing to be witnessed, and just being in neutral space with it, not getting too drawn in, because at the end of the day, we have to be toe within ourself, and we have to, this is part of the knowing thyself too. We have to be able to just be in our divine truth and know that we're fully protected, and everything that we're dreaming in is happening, because we're creating our new reality, and it's through the this new way, this imagineering, and particularly when we're all gathering in numbers. And I'm excited to see that there's more people coming in. There's more people that are willing to actually trust in this process, to trust themselves. And I want to honor all those that have come in here too, to trust yourselves,
Mm.
to be in this
Mm.
space, because that actually means a lot. That's a huge
Mm.
compliment, a testimony to the work that we're doing. Yeah, we are
Mm.
doing something quite unique, and it is about really freeing ourselves from the captured waters and the captured consciousness that's kept us quite stuck and sort of like going in a like Groundhog Day process. So I feel that freedom coming. And it's just, this is what we're feeling is the hangover of what we've had for so long. And still people going through that collective trauma as well. And I guess they're just charging the jackal, and sometimes you get to be the target of that, because, you're holding the light. And when you hold the light, you actually shine all the depth of darkness that others are holding within them. And so you end up being, the target of that. Well, in my experience anyway. So I'm not speaking for all of us, but I'm sure that you know what I mean because you've probably experienced it yourself as well. So that's a little bit from me, and I've got a little bit more to share about things that are going on in the wider connection with Source a little bit later on. But in the meantime, let us connect in with our beautiful sister Maggie. Kia ora.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry, just before we
Sure.
before Maggie, you come on, I've just had a comment in here. Had Lauren, definitely psychic sensitivities. I use those words grounding day to describe the start of things today. Oh yeah. Groundhog day, not grounding day.
Mhm.
The opposite to grounding day. Yeah, groundhog day.
Mhm.
Kia ora. That's a really good analogy for what we're seeing
Wow.
being played out. So thank you for that affirmation. So, dear sister, please come and share a little bit about yourself and what's your journey been. And yeah, over to you, honey. Kia ora.
Thank you. So, Lauren, grounding, but also groundhog. I felt this morning, like each morning, it's about grounding again because somehow overnight, I think we travel. Well, I know we do. And so to come into our bodies, fully in our bodies, um, so, once I get out, if I'm out in the world shopping or whatever, it's then that I realize I'm not grounded. It's like because I do silly things and think, come on, woman, get in there. So, and be focused. But because we're working so multi-dimensional, you really have to check yourself. Sometimes it can be quite difficult. I know my friend, the local yoga teacher, texted me and said, "How are you going?" She's like all over the place. So we were both sharing that we've got our ashwagandha, I think it's called, with our vitamin B for our nervous system, just to help us um, ground and bring our nervous system back and to being in balance. So, what have I got to share with you tonight? Goodness. Um, I, s- I'll just briefly go through. Um, I spent, um, I married the neighbour's son as my mother did, Ashburton farming community, so very tribal. um, and moved just 2 farms along the road that my mother did, and all that stuff. So, um, very tribal, big family. Went to school with all my cousins, 11 of them. All that sort of stuff. So then I found myself quite ill, needing operations, a number of them, until I was 34. So during that time, being medically experimented on, etc., it was endometriosis, but at 28, I was completely removed all my reproductive organs. I cut everything out. It was because the medications they put me on backfired and I was in a big state. So it was through that I went through menopause, but the whole thing didn't stop growing. That was the thing. I needed more surgery. But the real issue behind it, I was in an unhappy marriage. So of course that trauma was I was processing the negativity through my womb space. And once it was removed, I felt relief, to be honest. There's also a past life story there, which I won't share with you, but you realize once you get into that part of your life and your journey. So by 34, that was the end of the surgeries. And a year later, I skipped out of the marriage. But fortunately, I had 2 beautiful children. But they're now 55 and 53. So, um, yeah, fortunately, I had them before I couldn't.
and I've got three grandchildren. They're all in Christchurch. Um, so that led me to yoga, meditation, looking at alternatives, becoming a born again yogi. Essentially, I just throw myself into stuff. And that meant I ended up teaching yoga. I taught it in Rolleston minimum security prison and also in the women's prison down out of Christchurch, yeah, for over years. So, as well as in Ashburton locally before I moved to Christchurch. So that was then I went to India, met a well-known Sydney chiropractor. He thought I was pretty good and I was overwhelmed. And I ended up getting engaged and coming across in 1990. My kids were in their 20s by that, or early 20s. So I felt free to go and live in the big smoke Sydney. I never contemplated leaving New Zealand, but the relief of being in a bigger environment with more spiritual. I was living closely involved in ashram life. So 30 years of my life was with the Siddha Yoga lineage, received Shaktipat, had profound spiritual awakenings. And my spiritual name, Vrinda, is the birthplace of Krishna. Now I see Krishna and Christ as one. Simply, if you look at the Eternal Life Tribe, they spell Christ or Chris, K-Y-R-Y-S-T. So it's actually to me, because I believe that Christ, um, this I'll stop there. Christ actually went to India before, traveled throughout and went to India. And there's tapestries in India that record that, ancient tapestries. So, and his Magdalene, the divine feminine, all that, they were husband, wife, all that sort of reality was mine. I was brought up Presbyterian, all that religious, going to church, all that stuff, nothing fitted for me. And even the biblic concept of Christ didn't fit either somehow. I couldn't marry it, particularly the Jesus part of it. But when I understood Krishna and that Christ consciousness, that I can fully embody, and it's my go-to before even Archangel Michael. Because with the Eternal Life Tribe, Dr. Samuel Lee and the let me see, not Anahara, Anahazi Moore, their language, um, and Voyager too. They teach Ashayana Dean that Krishna, no, Archangel Michael, for example, is a isn't necessarily a good energy to be working with because it's been corrupted with these what I call cruel masters, and that name comes from um, Ouspensky, a Turkish mystic who wrote the books on many years ago. And it was John, my partner's, he was with the School of Philosophy, and they study these philosophical books. So Gurdjieff and Ouspensky, that's where that term, and it didn't really make a lot of sense why he would call it, cruel masters. But now being awakened to the reality of the hologram overlay that we live under, um, that makes more sense and it's real for me. So, where was I going with that? It's I've lost my train of thought with that. So, Eternal Life Tribe. They also teach that there were three Christs, different dimensional. So, without reading the entire part of the story, um, that there was the Christ that died on the cross. And it's interesting because last night when I woke, I was thinking about what I would share today, and I was really guided to share this. I thought, okay, so it's really you think of the death, the blood, the sacrifice, and how that form of Christ has kept us in the reality of sacrifice and blood. I won't go further into that. Yeah. So, and that's the holograph that we have perpetuated. We've become, you and I, maybe all of us, maybe not, but that's a hologram that the greater mass um, uh, take on as a belief. Now, if you understand that the Christ that was 7 dimension above to 10 dimensions, he didn't die on the cross. There's a whole story there, and I'll share that one day if you're interested. And there was a 12th dimensional Christ that actually ended up in India, which is why India, I believe, because I spent 3 months in ashram there in India and going very deep, um, profound experiences before I came to Australia. So I was in the late 80s. So that 12th dimensional Christ didn't really have the karmic patterning or vibrational patterning to go down into third density and to live out the sacrifice and the blood suffering. So that's the eternal life tribe understanding of Christ. And I did the fallen angel. I what I did was because I worked a lot with Archangel Michael, and all the angelic. In fact, that was a big part of the crystal healing work. You bring them in. I had the images. I've still got them. But I started to drop my association with an invocation to the Archangel Michael, and what it's actually enabled me to do through doing those practices since October last year. And it's learning a whole language. Initially, I struggled and couldn't do it, it's overwhelmed with the amount of information to process. But now it's so in me. I don't need Dr. Lee's chanting in the background. I just sit there and it all flows out of me. The language just is encoded. So as a result of that, I now understand that we are linking in with the inner earth, and the inner earth is much bigger and much more expanded within me. In fact, when I do the practice of linking with the first part of a chant, Om Maya Trainaya Kashan, you say that 3 times in the brow chakra, the ajna, and you send it down to the inner earth and spin it. I can't get beyond that for a while because that inner earth essence is become so big within me, that experience of it. And um, there's light, there's a vast, Agatha is one of the names. So if we look, this is from teaching sacred geometry, Drumble on Melchizedek stuff that I did years ago, would put everyone in the double tetrahedron created with Dowling. And it's fun to do that because it activates the first 8 cells of the body. This this shape is my teaching where is the top. So you've got the double, 2 interlocking triangles. So this, if we look at this and just pretend, but that's my belief, that the world is, the earth is a torus field. Well, the energy of it certainly is, but I believe there's an inner earth, and you see that spiral in the center. That is where the light, and there is Google Earth has always got clouds above the top and below of our Earth. So you never see that there's possibly a hole there or what it is at that point. So I believe that there's an inner Earth, and if we look at it from that angle, the flat earthers only see half of it. So that part of the spiral is what they believe exists, but they're not seeing that it actually is a complete figure eight. Um, so I'm connecting, I believe, and Dr. Lee talks about it, but they're more inclined to give you the language, activating the 12 tribes, the source river frequencies, and let it percolate within you and let it come alive within you and let it teach you from beyond that. So once and I actually love it. I'm not doing what other people in the tribe are doing. I am doing the practices the same, but my experience of it and what it's bringing alive within me is different. And that's because we're all unique. And that's it's actually why I like it's not a cult, it's not you go and do it. Here's the information, you activate your 12-strand DNA and see what you bring alive. The the thing is in activating that energy into the inner earth, it's it's activating Mu, it's activating the mother because that's the mother, isn't it? That's our energies um are really alive in the inner earth. I spent most of my life up and out, activating all the upper chakras. Um, really good at it. Spent most of my life out of my body. Why wouldn't you? It was more fun than being in it most of the time. So yeah. So any questions with that? No? Okay. So okay, my time with Drumbalo Melchizedek, who it's probably back to front, but remember he bought the Flower of Light, the ancient secret of the Flower of Life. And I studied with him before he wrote the books. So I had all the DVD, they were videos at that time. So that was in the 90s. And Dromolo and my crystal healing teacher, Katrina Raphael, were good friends. They mixed in the same circle in Tucson, Arizona, and went to Egypt together. And Drumbolo's sister was involved in some ways with antiquities. So they got into quite unique and special places in Egypt, in places that tourists didn't normally go to. So Katrina and Romulo went down under the Cheops. I think that was the main pyramid, right and down into that passageway that goes down under it, and described their experiences, which were down into the underworld, but of course down into a fourth dimensional, what you think you create, um, and projections. In other words, fear stuff. They had to be very centered and mindful and difficult because it was quite a small channel to get down. So Dromolo and Katrina's husband was a very close friend of Dromolo's. They separated, but when I met her in Kauai, I was then living in Sydney, looking and reforming myself um, in my next career. Before that, I was a hairdresser. I had a hairdressing salon in High Street, Christchurch, many years before I went across the ditch. So I know they're another lifetime. Um, anyway, so Drummelo, of course, I threw myself into that and ended up teaching it for many years. And what I've come to understand is, oops, okay, where we have the this double tetra, it's two triangles interlocking. This is male energy. Straight lines male. When you get a sphere, you get female. And the flow of life that we see and know, this symbol, is not complete, never was, because people could misuse it. So it has more spheres along the outside. What it contained was the seed of life and in symbolics. One day, if you want, I'll take you through a thorough understanding of the flower of life. And it's an extraordinarily powerful time. So it led on to understanding, and most people don't get this with working the Merkaba. You think it's a double tetrahedron, two interlocking triangles, but it's actually that interlocking triangles and another set beyond that again. So when you have two of these, you create a cube and a cube within a cube. And you then create Metatron's cube. That's why they call it Metatron's cube. When you've got Metatron's cube, you've got all of the five platonic solids in that formation. And I can draw it out and show you. I'm just scanning over the potential of it. So Metatron's cube and that cube, and I was deeply connected to the Metatronic energies. But I realized a few years and studying all this um, that the cube is three-dimensional, fourth dimensional. What we've got in Mecca is a cube. What we have, BlackRock, is a cube. They use that to keep third, fourth dimensional energies in place, so that cubic energies. If you look at the pyramids, Egypt, the drawings there, they're sitting on cubes. So that is a coding that prevents the more cube is solid earth bound square, um, and it's male, so it stops more expansive, like the tube torus um, energies from female energies from being relevant, from being in our holographic reality quite so much. It captures, think of all the religious and the business, the religions, say Muslim, with their cube in Mecca. So, and I believe in the United Nations and their sacred room or whatever, it's not sacred to me, but is a cube. And for that reason, the energies coming from it keep uh, the hologram fixed in place. So when we work with the toroidal field, which is what I'm doing now, not using the Merkaba with its spin and its ratio, which I did for many years, and I found it protected me, so to speak, put me in a strong shield, which was wonderful. But through the Eternal Life Tribe teachings, I'm now drawing the energy from the inner earth up and spiraling it through and bringing the energies from the sun, the rays, from the Unisci, which is the golden rays, so silver and golden rays. And once you do it for a while, it just starts activating. So you're putting yourself completely in this tube torus, toroidal field, and flowing, and it's feminine, not the masculine tube torus cubic. So the result of that is you're in flow, you're more in flow, and it's, you could say it's protective, but the source for the frequencies that our prayer that we do, which works with the grids of the earth, that's that's so protective in the sense of if you cover. I mean, I'm now working when I work with my clients, and I've had enormous feedback from people that come. Someone said, I don't know what you're doing now, but this is extraordinary. All I did was I invoked my dragons. Now, that's right. A 75-year-old is invoking dragons for the first time, but why? So, what it is, if we look at what, because for me, because I knew everything, because I'd done it all. The dragons were, new age stuff. But then with Eternal Life Tribe, when it was in the sorcerer frequencies and it's really strongly associated with the before time energies. So we chant to, or not chant, but we invoke Bendi Duru Amija Ottorori Aquion, and that is the blue dragon. And it is an aquatic bird, blue humanoid. And that's you, Tirakuri. I didn't say that properly. I practice it, but I'm sorry. But that's you. I just see you with that bird, aquatic bird, blue humanoid. Bendi duro amija utroi aquion. That's the dragon energy. And for the Lyrian people, a gold dragon, winged lion biped humanoid. It's Bendi Hala Isa Nui Uturoi Aquion. So then for the purple dragons, breatharian white humanoid. So Bendi Rama Rathragentu Uturoi Aquion. So they're the three dragons that I now channel through my hands when I'm working with people, particularly massaging their heads and neck and shoulders. But really, when I'm sitting, I just invoke my dragons. I've left the angels and archangels aside, and because I want to go back to the original tribes and their first teachings. If we're working with First Light, this is all part of First Light. And just talking about this takes me back to my memories of Kauai, because when I trained with Katrina and Kauai, it was over 3 years, foundation, intermediate, advanced, and teacher training. And Kauai has I was naive to what it really was at that point, but I had most extraordinary experiences. Um, I remember going to a channeling night with a tall white. So he was Nordic. I didn't get it there. I knew he looked alien and all the rest. So tall Nordic, and he channeled. I forget what he said, but the entire room was flooded with white light, blinding white light. So it drew, that was back in the early 90s, from 92, 93, 94. Yeah. Um, so it was, and I saw, in that amazing Hawaiian vibration, fairies, all the elementals, the light of them dancing around, just you could just get into a state of being. And I've since learned, because that's what made me join Eternal Life Tribe, was that Mu Lemuria, Mu, really Kauai and Hawaii, but Kauai, the elders, generational, have some of them have never left the island. We were told when we go there that you can't go in certain areas. And I saw a video of Danny Henderson being driven in those areas, and their homes and villages were, she wasn't allowed out, wasn't secretly videoed, but drove through, and they were humble earth, just natural, humble buildings. But the people, a son interviewed his father and said he'd never leave the island. Now, he was original. He was one of the ones that no doubt trained at Ashana Dean, and brought through the ancient teachings of the Eternal Life Tribe, because that's where she was trained, and right from a child. So um, they don't leave the island. They carry the Mu energy and wisdom. I know that Drumvalo also, well, wrote a book. I've got it here. He traveled there and he talked about this waterfall, and that's where Dr. Lee had us go with the elders of Kauai, these ancient tribal lineage families, and we activated this waterfall that the energies go down again to the Middle Earth, into the inner Earth, and we cleared a blockage, or we activated an aspect of it. And that, of course, then Dr. Lee mentioned that if you look through the earth, is directly in alignment with the Monseigneur, where the Cathars were burnt. And that's in France, and there's the castle of Monseigneur, where we've done grid work there. But when I first came to Sydney and had a very profound reading with Marshall Lever, who used to go into trance and Tom, and he told me then, I had no idea, that I had an allegiance in past life with Montsegur and the Cathars. It didn't mean terribly much to me until I went to Kauai, and this lady that I met there she knew all about it. So I did more research and forgot it. And then Dr. Lee has brought it alive again. So the interesting part that for me, the Cathars are the original holders of the wisdom of Mary Magdalene, because she then went through to France and shared her wisdom. And of course, the Roman Catholic Church burnt all of the wisdom holders and destroyed them. And that's what we've all lived through, no doubt, burnt at stakes and done all that stuff. So we're here to say, blow it this time, we're going to win, and we're here for the good times. We're here to bring it through, and the earth through, and awaken the earth, feed the earth with our love, feed the earth with our chants, with our soul memories, with these unions that we're forming. And we're all wisdom holders, I've just had a few more years to gather a few more stories, but we're all wisdom holders. So there we are. I think that's
Oh,
enough.
that was awesome, sister. Yeah, kia ora. Thank you for sharing all your past journeys. Well, some of them, yeah. I'm sure there's thousands, but
More.
this is, yeah, it's a good start. And, with the Eternal Life Tribe and,
Mm,
the tribes continue to expand as well. So,
mm.
yeah, I also want to just welcome Kohatu into the space as well. Yeah, just spotted you there, brother. Awesome. And, yeah, I feel too that yeah, your sharing has really stirred things up in terms of the moo and the first light and everything like that. And there's definitely some big medicine there. And of course, Te Kooti worked with Archangel Michael, so
Yes,
there's that
I
little
know
piece there.
it's
So
a
that
challenge. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's
So I mean, there's
experiment
also
mode.
different narratives as well. So there's,
Mm.
yeah, we've got to sort of be a little bit more broad spectrum in terms of the, what we're bringing through. And I've been working with Michael, Archangel Michael lately as well. He's been coming to
And
me. So
and I always, we dependent on. And I've still got my little photo in my temple area here. I don't see things as good and bad. I see things as something, it's a personal experiment really for me to have let go of Archangel Michael as an experiment, not because I saw it as bad, but okay, let's see how I go without that energy. And what occurred was a deeper connection to the inner earth beings. That's all.
Yeah, kia ora.
Mm,
Yeah. Well, I suppose too, us being kaitiaki of the spinner chakra and working very deeply with, going deep into the
mm,
inner earth is also part of the
mm.
journey of this next piece. So it feels that feels good. But
When
yeah,
you speak the spinner chakra, this is all spinning.
yes.
You
Yeah.
know?
I love
So
it.
when you
It's all
started talking about spinner chakra, I thought, yep, okay, I've got that. So the spins, the female spins.
yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. And this is it. This is
mm,
why this is, like everything needs to be, this is part of the Waitaha prophecy. And we're going to talk about the prophecies in a minute, but this is all part of it as well.
mm.
And I feel too, actually, I'm getting to share the card of Archangel Michael just so
Right.
we get
Mm,
a different perspective on the
mm,
frequency of Michael,
hmm.
who, and this one here's a bit of a hottie. Yeah.
Wow.
So let me bring him in the most benevolent way. Sword of truth and protection, liberation, divine justice, Garden
Mm,
of Eden. You have chosen this card because the blue ray of Archangel Michael summons you. He is the guardian of the golden gates of Eden, bearing the sword of truth and justice. He arrives as a divine protector and liberator of the blue diamond, a sacred key encoded within humanity's divine template. In realms unseen, he struck down the great shadow that once crowned the god of war with stolen light. With one swift, radiant blow, he dislodged the blue diamond from the grip of false dominion and cast it into the ether, where it now waits for the brave and the pure to reclaim it. Michael's sword of truth restores and uplifts to awaken the holy fire within your heart. Michael's essence is both fierce and tender, warrior of peace, a sword that heals. He is the blazing archetype of divine justice, cutting through illusion, clearing ancestral binds, and burning away fear, so that your soul may stand unshackled. He reminds you that truth is not a weapon, but a sword that parts veils and reveals the eternal light within. His energy awakens sacred courage, urging you to reclaim your own divine authority, to See, to stop seeking outside and remember you are a temple. You are the Eden. The blue flame of first light burns within Archangel Michael's heart as witness to the original fire of creation, the sacred frequency of divine will and holy clarity. When you call upon Michael, the blue flame ignites within you, illuminating your purpose, dissolving distortion, and activating the codes of the sovereign soul. It is both sword and sanctuary, pure, precise, and eternal. Stand in truth, walk in peace. The sword is in your hand now. Eden lives within you. And the sacred soul sound seed activation is Zarailum. And the karakia, whakatika mai, makaira tapu.
What I
Hoa tu
like
to hoara, hua tu to hoari o te pono ki tu o te maramatanga. Stand with me, Holy Michael, grant your sword of truth, that I may stand in the light. Yeah.
what I like about that is it's inviting us to invoke Archangel Michael within us, not
Yes.
outside, not
No,
outside. Yeah,
it's
it's
never been
within.
out.
Yeah,
That's the
that's the
embodiment
key, isn't
part.
it? Mm.
That's the key. We have to embody everything. Everything's within us anyway. We're part of the, 144,000 fractals of light. They all live within us, and we're reflecting those with, the mirror of what we're seeing and witnessing outside of ourselves. We're all a mirror to each other, and that's what I love about the work that we're bringing through with the First Light Prophecy stuff. And so I want to just share about the three First Light Rainbow Prophecies. I have written about them, the post that I did when I first shared about this prophecy, which you never hear about. Nobody ever talks about these rainbow prophecies, and yet they exist hidden. It was almost like no one had spoken them aloud before, but I raised it and I brought it to consciousness for the first time, and that the writings went viral. They got like 200,000 views and just keep spreading. But it's been interesting for people to know that we've actually got them here in First Light. And the first one that I want to bring to light is Auntie Rose Te Turu Kia Rikirangi Pere, who is one of my whanaunga, and she's whanaunga to many of us, and she's actually a beautiful high priestess that works with many. Now that she's in spirit, she actually chooses who, well, she probably, there's 100 of us that she works with all at the same time now. So she's working with us all who call upon her, and she's here to enable us to embody the Are Your Peace Way. And it's an internal embodiment. That's the map that we hold, the map of consciousness that we work with. The Are Your Gateway, the Mu map, the Hawaii Tapu is actually a map of, well, it's the Mu map, but it's actually an embodiment map. So it's not outside of ourselves. It's not something that we need to aspire to or ascend beyond it. We're actually ascending within it. So it's a full ascension map. And she's asking us to walk it, the Are Your Peace Way, which is peace, love, joy, and truth. She's also here to awaken the magical children of Ra, Ngāti Ra, which are they through the eye of the needle. That's where we all are welcomed now, because this is the true way of really finding our strength in this shift, because lots of people are getting way too intense and serious, and they've lost the joy in everyday life. But we need to actually be in that joy space to truly be in appreciation, and also in out of expectation, and in that full joy frequency and be actually experiencing that and showing each other how to be lighter. That, obviously not everybody's role to do that, but she's here to assist us to help to embody all those parts of ourselves, which is that innocence, trust, surrender, and magic that we all hold. And it's through the Imagineering that we are building the new reality field. It's through the eye of the child, of the Ankh, of the infinite fractal that we build new Earth or the new Gaia Galactica. And then, so that's the first rainbow prophecy. And she spoke about the rainbow children of Ra Ngāti Ra, the golden ones. There's multiple names for it, but she spoke about it's the children of many colours that come together. And then Te Kooti was another one, and he's actually carried the vision of soul sovereignty, and the blue diamond represents that. So the blue diamond is the diamond of soul sovereignty, and that resides within us all. And, I sort of feel like it's the blue diamond is, it's a multidimensional diamond. It's both within the earth, it's without the earth, it's within us. It's something that we can travel with. It is a Merkaba, it's a type of Merkaba, but obviously one where everything's intact, and we've also got the whole quantum field activated within it. It's not just like you were talking about before. It feels much more of a quantum frequency than that, and with the spinner chakra fully penetrated within it. And so that is also, he talked about us receiving that, and part of our soul sovereignty is also decolonizing our minds. So it's, working with the upper parts of our brain, connecting with our neocortex, activating our pineal, and also recognizing that we are so much more than just this flesh skin suit, that we are a multidimensional being that can travel through the white rainbow, because he talked about traveling on the white rainbow. He had magical powers. People didn't know how he used to be able to go from one location to the next within like minutes, and suddenly he'll turn up in a completely different location. But he'd always travel at night, and he called it the moon bow. So he worked through Ngā Roma of the moon, and so he obviously worked with that feminine frequency to get from one side to the other. And he also was here. He had a prophecy that talked about all of the tribes of the rainbow of the world, of the planet, coming together and unifying, and how important that is for that prophecy to be fulfilled. And it all connects into the inner authority, activation of our full light, and the reconnection across nations, bringing everybody back together. Of course, now we've got the internet, we've got ways of communicating and connecting across the planet within milliseconds, so it's very easy for us now. But he didn't know that when he talked about that prophecy. So it's almost like, this is what we're doing in real time. And then we have the Waitaha grandmothers who carry the white rainbow teachings around the white rainbow of the time before time. And that speaks about the ancient peace trails being walked by the grandmothers again, the grandmothers leading the way. Of course, it's her time to rise and shine now. She's been relegated as like, just almost like defunct in society, and placed in a box and looked down upon as someone who's lost their vitality and their life force. But really, there's a lot of incredible energy that the grandmothers are carrying. And for starters, their wisdom. Their wisdom is gold. It's what's going to be the currency that keeps the whole field activated. And so with our maturity comes wisdom as well. And so it's about restoring those primordial waters that we all belong to. She's reminding us that we're all waitaha, we're all living standing waters, we're all made of plasma H3O2. We are made of God consciousness, at which can never be destroyed. So we may no longer have a body, but our God consciousness will live forever. And it's probably got a lot to do with our waters. Because it's the waters that are holding us all together. We're 99.9% or 99% water by molecular count. So it's quite interesting how, yeah, we've, just starting to recognize all these parts. And our waters are getting very affected right now with all the solar flares and so on. We're getting the big, big upgrades. It's part of our original architecture and our whakapapa to the 22 Star Nation. So we're holding those codings and those lights within us, that understanding of our connection to our original cosmic DNA, which was beyond the 12 strands, actually. Like, yes, we have got a template here, but we are also, we've got other information coming in as well. And yeah, and together the grandmothers are here to walk the ancient peace trails as well. So that's taking them on the peace missions, the peace initiatives, and also getting involved in like community and over separation. So they're bringing the communities together, and we've been witnessing that. Anha set up different little collectives happening and doing the inspiration to get things going for all those that are all over New Zealand, to set up conscious communities, and also all over the world if that's what you want to do for your community. It's a really good way of pulling all the tribe together as well, and brings in that service over self-interest, love over fear. So yeah, we are, we're in divine service to humanity, we're in divine service to Source, we're being guided by Source to bring through this mission and walk the ancient peace trails again. And I feel that that's something that we'll be doing, actually boots on the ground, on working with planetary peace initiatives and connecting in with those global grandmother networks that are around the planet as well. So this is huge, what we're, these 3 rainbow prophecies that have come through, that have always existed here. We've known about them. I mean, they've been around for Auntie Rose's, like I've known about that for some time now. And then Te Kotis, which is, 150 years old, and then the Waitaha, which is thousands of years old. So, this is what we're holding here. And it is a new consciousness. We are raising the collective every time we speak of them, every time we are choosing to fulfill them and be part of the destiny where we are walking the pathways to fulfill them. So there's a huge element here, and I'm just going to hand it over to our beautiful sister Anhara, who's perhaps got a little bit more to add to that. So, sister, handing it over to you.
Okay. All right, yeah, kia ora, sisters. Wow, interesting. Out to our sister Maggie, your journey has been my journey. Much of what you speak about, I have been taught in those ways as well. Doing all the inner earth work for like 20 years, really. Connecting the Merkabahs, the light body, with the physical body, with inner earth. And quite funny when you talked about like Jesus in India. So my twin flame said to me that, a lot of the Indians wear T-shirts that Jesus lived in India. And I thought that was really, really cute. And of course he did, because there's lots of shrines in Srinagar, I think it was, where they made all these shrines to him and his beautiful teachings. And I do believe he was activated in the King's Chamber in Egypt, in the Great Pyramid. A lot of people do teleport and shift at night when the magnetics of the planet are low. There's actually something about that. But there's lots more to talk about, of course. But I wanted to just touch base today about it's the Mayan Tolkien Kin 176 Day. And basically, this is about Chief Sitting Bull attuning to the noble warrior, and he's a yellow resonant warrior. And in the Tolkien, Te Raukura and myself are yellow kin. And so the mantra is, I channel in order to question. So they are Lakota people, and they were Pleiadian star seeds. And so the Mayan Tolkien, it's a powerful day. The New Earth Rainbow Warriors are stepping up and banding together as they trailblaze the path of the new time. And on this special gap day, we are focused on building a new foundation. And although we talk about Archangel Michael, I've had lots of sessions, deep sessions with Archangel Michael and, well, the four archangels. And at various different times, we focus on those archetypes. But of course, they're all within us. There ain't nothing out there. They're all just different dimensions of us that we can tap into. And so, I mean, it's beautiful Celia Fenn. Someone else was talking about Archangel Michael's teaching. There's the sword of truth, the sword being in our tinana, in our body, and the bones coming, the sidebar coming across here through the collarbone. And this is where all the memories are kept in the collarbone, and when you do body work, right in here. It's all within us. We have an intelligent body. And so the kin 176 is one of the 13 clear signs on the tomb lid of the Mayan king Paikal Votan. These highlight the 13 kin galactic signature, which holds special significance as markers in humanity's evolution. I believe we're going through a big one right here, right now. And so that gap day is all about the rainbow warrior tribes. And that's us. We are multi-dimensions. We're existing in all time space at one time, but most people can't even conceptualize anything like that. That's why we have to be here now in the physical body, unifying all these aspects of ourselves. So, and it's all about an emotional tone today and opening our hearts and becoming a channel for divine love. And so I think there's another kin that works with the kin 176 is the white dog wave spell. That's all about unconditional love, loyalty, devotion, service, friendships, and faith. So I know Te Raukura has spoken about the three rainbow prophecies, Aotearoa. That's really, really potent. And I was going to touch base and do a little reading about the Rainbow Prophecy Part 1, Children of the Rainbow. And this came through Sissy, Grandmother Sissy. And there's a lot written about that. And some people think there's a new age kind of take on it, but I feel a lot of truth about this. So when the earth is ravaged and the animals are dying, a new tribe of people shall come onto the earth from many colours, classes, creeds, which is us, and who by their actions and deeds shall make the earth green again. They will be known as the warriors of the rainbow. So we're working with the fifth world of peace, which is the rainbow prophecy. When the tribe of the white buffalo approaches, the third generation of the white eyes children will grow their hair and speak of love as the healer of the children of earth. These children will seek new ways of understanding themselves and others. And aren't we doing that? They will wear feathers and beads, yep, and paint their faces, yep. They will seek the elders of the red race and drink of their wisdom. These white-eyed children will be a sign that the ancestors are returning in white bodies, but they are red on the inside. And I've always never really felt myself to be of white heritage. I've always felt Indigenous on the inside. And I don't even relate to a lot of my different genealogy. I do actually relate to the Indigenous teachings. So they will walk the earth and balance again and reform the ideas of the white chiefs. These children will be tested as they were when they were red ancestors by unnatural substances like firewater, the waipiro, to see if they can remain on the sacred path. The generation of flowered children have moved through this part of the prophecy, and some have remained on the sacred path. Many have not. The generation of flowered children have moved through. Oh, yeah, I've just read that. Once others were lost for a while and now returning to their natural way of being. Some were disillusioned and have forgotten the high ideals that gave them life when their hearts were young, but others still are waking up and quickening into remembering. So this is all about after the time when the buffalo returned, the generation following the flowered children would see the dawning of the fifth world of peace, which is the Navajo Hopi prophecy, the whirling rainbow prophecy, and that's us. And we've got to raise it up together. We've got to bring forward these prophecies and the grandmother's prophecies, right? And it takes a lot of determination. You've got to put effort into it. We can't ride the skirt tails of others now. We've got to awaken in our DNA, the rainbow DNA within inside ourselves. And with your kōrero, sister, too, it reminded me of, the dragons. I have met my own dragon in the Ring of Fire, actually, and had, we awaken in different vibrational ways at different times. And I remember when my dragon came along, which was me, and was, the original codes of, they laid the original codes of earth, the ley line, crystalline grids. And it came along and it spat this kind of stuff into my third eye. And from then on, I was having like major downloads, uploads, all of that. And then we go to sleep a little bit and then we awake again with another experience. And I just wanted to finish with one experience walking into Lake Rotoponamu, and another lady was walking out and she said, Taurus field. She went past. And I was like, whoa, there's a message, right? And then maybe about, I don't know, it could have been about 6 months later, I was meditating. We had been on a big journey, meditating for days and blah, blah, blah. And I was actually in deep meditation and I saw the Taurus field of Lake Rotoponamu and the Taurus field of Lake Taupo. And I was in it and of it. And it just took me to this higher plane. And these are the things that we can tap into. They're just libraries upon libraries that we can, through frequency, tap into this truth of who we are. And together, look how powerful we are. I mean, you've got, so many things to share. I love that you shared about the Taurus field tonight, Maggie. That really has penetrated my field. Of course, I've worked with the Merkabahs for years, but the Taurus field has taken on another meaning for me tonight. So namaste.
Mhm. Thank you, sister. That's powerful. Wow, we've come to the final part of our journey together tonight, and would love to get us all to take a little bit of a stand and wriggle our bodies a bit because we're just about to do a little bit of kani. So looking forward to sharing some sound seeds with you in a second. Let me just quickly bring this piece of music up. Oh. And bear with me for a second. Sorry. I've got to say, Sister Maggie, that no way do you look 75. You look incredible for your age. So yeah, it must be the work that you've been doing, eh? This is what's possible, whānau, when we get lots of light inside of our bodies, we just start to exude it and we don't age. You know, we're actually setting our age now. And I've got a friend of mine, she's just been on a big world tour with Robert Edward Grant, and they've had this amazing connection. And yeah, he has set the rate of evolution, like going back in age at 35. So she's celebrating that at the moment, like jumping with joy and sharing with me that that's the new reset time. It's 35. Yay, I'm 35 now. It's really cute. So cute watching her. So here we go. We are oh yep. I thought I'd just set this all up properly, but I hadn't quite coordinated it properly, but we're getting there. Sorry, I just gotta get this. From the mountains of memory, no one's called. Okay, let's do it. Just gotta set properly, and away we go. Here we go. And we'll turn that speaker up. Turn it up so we can actually hear ourselves, hear the music properly. Oh, here we go, yes. From the mountains of memory, the old ones call. Wake the grandmothers rise and stand tall, carrying whispers from the time before time, weaving earth and stars in a sacred rhyme. Auntie Rose dreamed the rainbow light, 7 rivers shining through the night. Rangati Ra with the dawn's first flame, calling every tribe by the ancient name. Tekuti carried the blue diamond bright, a beacon of sovereignty, truth and sight. Archangel Michael with his sword of grace, guarding the sacred heart of this place. Archangel Gabriel sings through the air, awakening souls with the heavenly prayer. From every nation, every sea and shore, the rainbow tribes unite forevermore. Ayo, ayo, aroha flow. Kani, kani, now let the rainbow glow. Ayo, ayo, truth we know. Nai we katoa, together we grow. Hey, Maori, ora shine and show. Rangati ra, let the love light flow. Ayo, ayo, joy bestow. Under the rainbow, one people we go. One people we go. Grandmothers gather where the waters meet, ancient drums awakening dancing feet, their wisdom rising from the sacred ground. In every heartbeat their songs resound. They lead the children into a brighter day, teaching peace and love as the only way, holding the vision through every storm, birthing a new world ready to transform. The rainbow prophecies now unfold, stories once hidden are being told. Blue diamond shining in every heart, reminding us all we were never apart. Michael protects and Gabriel sings, truth and remembrance on luminous wings. High peace, love, joy and truth arise, like 7 colors dancing through the sky. Ayo, 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 flow. Kani, kani, now let the rainbow glow. Ayo, ayo, truth we know. Mai we katoa, together we grow. Hey, Maori, ora shine and show. Ranatira, let the love light flow. Ayo, ayo, joy
people we go. Itunga prayer, Itunga fire. Voices of the ages calling us here. From the first dawn to the rising new sun, many streams return into one blue diamond blazing. The rainbow wheel turns to every soul. The sacred fire burns. Michael and Gabriel, guardians near, singing remembrance for all to hear. For all to hear. Ayo, ayo, aro hablo. Kani, kani now, let the rainbow glow. Ayo, ayo, truth we know. Nai we kato, together we grow. Tie mauri ora shine and show. Rana tira, let the love light flow. Ayo, ayo, joy bestow. Rainbow drive rising, united we go. Ayo, aro hablo. Grandmothers lead and the children grow. Ayo, ayo, the whole world knows. Peace, love, joy, and truth forever glow.
Woo. Well, I'm just gonna change my speaker. That's better. So, beautiful family, that concludes our time tonight. Are there any questions so far? There's like 13. Oh, gosh. Sorry, Fano, I just noticed that. So looks like a lot of people are really keen to know about more information that you were saying you'd like to share, Maggie. So yes, they're saying yes, keen to have that happen. And
Sacred geometry part of it? Or
yeah, so I think you were talking about the flower of life and how it's a
mm, holographic?
yeah, it's a
Mm,
movable, it's like not just a
mm,
fixed
mm,
yeah teaching that just
mm,
with one dimension, it's multiple dimensions, isn't it? Like it's
mm,
actually like the
mm,
torus field, but it's like
mm,
mega flower, petals of the flower moving together. Yeah, like
mm.
everything, we've got to see them in a much more quantum
Sure.
way.
Like when you talk about the diamond, which is why I put that up, look, it's all made up of diamonds.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and it's called that's God. That's God in geometry. The tetragrammaton 64, that's the key, tetrahedral, metric, stellated, isocubic octahedron with a Sri Yantra. It's a Sri Yantra overlay. So, but essentially it's made up of diamonds. So, and I have that in my healing room because that is the picture of God to me because through the sacred geometry. And it is visible to my clients and they go, "Oh, this weird symbol." But I've got God sitting right beside them in the healing room. The symbol of it in geometry, which is fun.
Yeah. So is that an dodecahedron? Is that what it's
Uh, it's stellated. Yeah, I've got it
still?
written. Yeah, it's a tetragrammatron, 64
Yeah.
tetrahedral metric. There's 64. I'll explain the symbol of 64. The
Yeah.
64 is, there's so much there. And we're closing, so I'll keep that for another
Yes.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds
Mm,
great.
mm.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for showing up. And yes, and we've got a couple of comments here. So many, so many thanks, Maggie, for sharing your light. From Jenny, Lauren says, I take myself too seriously, but don't take myself seriously enough. was my latest message. Ha ha ha. Talk about paradox. And Misty Blue has said, my stepmom May from China says, I have fun friends. Haha, she enjoyed the dance. Oh, great. So happy to have May with us on this call. Yes, absolutely. We're the coolest friends you've got. That is awesome.
Would
And,
I share
so,
that? I've got a message from Samuel B. It's a video, but it says, "You're the living technology." I just want you to know that. We're
abs
the living technology. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like that's what we were just talking about today, actually. We are the most sophisticated biotech, in this part of the universe because, we've got it all encoded within us and it's the consciousness that makes us so powerful. So when we raise our consciousness, we raise our capacity to be God realized in flesh. And that's what this work is all about. This isn't about following a guru, it's becoming your own guru. You become fully realized within yourself. So thank you so much, everybody, for your presence tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure, and it's so lovely to have some new whānau with us. Natalie, you're here, and May, and we also have, who else have we got here that hasn't been here before? We've got no, it must be May. It must be May from China. Yeah, kia ora. And yeah, we've met some of you other whānau last week, some of our new whānau, Lexia and Lauren. And yeah, so great to have you guys with us. You beautiful wahine ma. Have a wonderful week, everybody. And actually, no, we'll see you on Friday. If you can make it to Temple on Friday, let's come and do Friday Temple. It's a lot of fun. We go deeper. We go deeper into the mystery. So just feeling to close out with I feel a waiata. Anhara, you've got the voice, sister. What would you like to sing out with?
Well, you had it on me. We might as well do the
Ayo.
Aiora, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can all sing it actually. I don't know
Yeah.
what it's going to sound like together, but Aio ki te orangi. Aio ki te orangi. Aroha ki te orangi. Aroha ki te aorangi. Kwa, kwa, kwa ki te aorangi. Kwa, kwa, kwa ki te aorangi.
Oh,
Po
oh,
no
no.
ki te aorangi. Ho'ono ki te aorangi. Beautiful.
Mm,
Much
okay.
aloha, everyone. Mwah. Mm.
Mwah. See you real soon. Mate wa,
Ko
everyone.
maria.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams. Awesome fun.